Hello everyone, welcome to JuLa Can Cook New Orleans. This is your host JuLa Ducre. Here's what's on my lunch menu today. I have 2 pounds of Camellia red beans, 2 pounds, and what I like to do is soak them in water just for a little bit before I actually put them in a pot of hot boiling water, and I'm going to come back and I'm going to show you the next step. I like to soak my beans. It kind of aids in the creaminess of these red beans and helps them bust a lot faster. I want to address a question from one of my viewers named Amelia from Chicago. She writes, "Dear JuLa, how long do I soak my red kidney beans before putting them into a hot pot of water?" Well, hi Amelia, thank you so much for writing to JuLa Can Cook New Orleans, which is an all new cooking show coming in the next few weeks. There's really no rhyme or reason. Sometimes I let my beans sit in the water for maybe 10-15 minutes. Other times I may let it sit for half an hour to an hour, or maybe overnight. It depends on your individual preference. So, it doesn't really matter, because once you get your beans in the pot of hot boiling water and you cover the pot, and I like to put all of my seasonings in while the red beans are cooking. I like my seasonings such as garlic, bell pepper, green peppers that we call shallots here in Louisiana. I have bay leaves, onion powder, and garlic powder that I will be using. I do not use any salt when I'm preparing my dishes. Heart Healthy has never tasted so good. So I like to soak these beans 10 to 15 minutes, just kind of washing them off, because you never know nowadays what you're going to find in a pack of anything. So I highly recommend that you soak your beans, and you can remove any bad beans from the pot, and then you drain the water out and you start your water boiling first before adding the beans to the pot of hot water. I'm going to be right back with more ingredients. This is your host JuLa from JuLa Can Cook New Orleans. Keep it right here. I am back. You're watching JuLa Can Cook New Orleans. Now it's time to add my seasonings in my pot of hot water, which I will be adding the red beans a little bit later. As you can see, I have already chopped some cilantro, celery, bell peppers, and green onions. So I'm going to go ahead and chop a little bit more, because Heart Healthy has never tasted so good. I'm going to be chopping this medium bell pepper, this big boy right here, and I'm going to set the bell pepper pieces on the side, and then when I come back, I am going to add my red beans, which have been soaking in the water. You can see that they are kind of like, you see that? They're softening up a little bit. And this is going to make for a really great pot of JuLa's ball red beans. Ball is French for good. So keep it right here on JuLa Can Cook New Orleans, where Heart Healthy has never tasted so good. I cook all of my dishes with no added salt. Welcome back to JuLa Can Cook New Orleans. As you can see over here, I have been getting busy. I have chopped some fresh celery, cilantro, 5 cloves of garlic, bell peppers, as well as shallots known as green peppers. I used a 1/4 cup of canola oil. Also, I've added some onion powder, garlic powder, and a little bit of fresh ground cumin, which is a brain food. Keep it right here on JuLa Can Cook New Orleans. Heart Healthy has never tasted so good because I prepare all of my dishes using no added sodium. Welcome back to JuLa Can Cook New Orleans. This is your host, JuLa Ducray. Well, I have 2 pots. Got a pot over to my right and a pot on my left. This pot right here, I've added some turkey necks. I've got all my ingredients in the pot. I've got fresh cilantro chopped, celery, bell peppers, shallots. I've got some, oh, this is so good. This is my favorite. I added 5 cloves of fresh garlic. I also added onion powder, garlic powder, and a little bit of cumin because cumin is a super brain type of food. If you've ever suffered any type of brain injury, ground cumin is the best type of ingredient that you can add to your food, and reports and studies have shown that a lot of people have benefited from their brain health. Over here, a pot to my left, I've added some smoked hocks and also the smoked pork hock. Now these got to cook down for about an hour and a half. I'm going to be covering my pot in just a moment, and then when I come back, it is going to be magic. We are back. It's time to check on the red beans. This pot right here to my right is the one that contains absolutely no salt at all. No added salt. It's time to stir the pot. The beans are cooking very, very nicely. As you can see, the beans are cooking very, very nicely. And I'm cooking the beans on high. So this is for people who cannot have absolutely no salt, even foods that contains salt. Now this pot over here, oh, c'est bon. This is the pot with the smoked neck bones. I've never had neck bones in my life, but I've had a request for neck bones today. And also the smoked hocks. I just tried smoked hocks maybe a couple months ago, and I don't eat them, but I do love to add them to my pot for flavor. So as you can see, my 2 pots of red beans are doing extremely well. I want you guys to keep it right here on JuLa Can Cook New Orleans, where Heart Healthy has never tasted so good. Welcome back to JuLa Can Cook New Orleans. Now I have cleaned my long grain brown rice, and I'm going to show you all a little trick that I use for those who cannot have any added salt. This is 1 teaspoon of powdered garlic, 1 level teaspoon of powdered garlic, and the reason why I only use 1 teaspoon is because I don't want garlic to overpower the flavor of my long grain brown rice. And I am going to cover the pot. This is my favorite pot, by the way. I've had this pot forever. It cooks the best everything, especially brown rice. So now it's time to check on my Heart Healthy red beans. Oh boy. Oh boy. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. JuLa Can Cook New Orleans. The beans are busting beautifully. Look at that. It's going to be so nice and creamy. Wonderful. These beans are doing absolutely what I want them to do. It's going to be so, so good. Okay, it's time to check on pot number 2. This is the pot with the smoked necks and smoked hocks. Oh yeah. Just look at this, ladies and gentlemen. Look at this. Let's get some of the beans. Oh yeah, these beans are, yes, they're busting beautifully. So the key is to keep the pot. You can see the creaminess of the red beans starting. To cover the pot. And what I do, I like to cook my beans starting off on high heat. I like to cook my beans on high heat, and I monitor the beans periodically to make sure that my pots do not boil over and that the beans do not overcook. I'm going to be right back with more of JuLa Can Cook New Orleans. Heart healthy has never tasted so good. Hello everyone, this is JuLa Ducray. We're back. It's time to check on my red beans. This pot right here. I'm cooking with no added salt. Lots of fresh herbs and turkey necks. And I cut these necks myself, actually. These are butterball turkey necks, by the way. Very, very, very good. And I never make a gravy when I'm cooking red beans. A lot of people like to add a roux to their beans. Now it's time for me to slow cook the beans. I've been cooking the beans on high, I would say, for about an hour. Now I'm going to turn the heat to about medium, which is number 5, because this is an electric ignition stove, even though it's gas. Stir it really, really well. So I'm going to cover the pot up. Now, pot number 2 over to my left. This is the pot that I'm cooking for my friends who are visiting me from out of town. Actually, they're from the Chicago, Illinois area, and they wanted some smoked necks and some smoked pork chops, which I went to the market and got some for them. Time for me to stir my pot. Oh, look at the beans. The beans are cooking very, very nicely. Look at these beans. They're going to be so nice and creamy. And as I stated earlier, I've loaded lots of fresh herbs. Lots of fresh garlic, parsley. I put cilantro because I'm not going to add any sodium because these smoked necks and hocks already contain lots of sodium in them already. So I'm going to leave them alone and I'm going to let them do their thing. And then I'm going to cover my pot. Now what I'm going to do, here we go. I'm also going to be turning that heat down as well to medium, to slow cook. I've got my rice cooking in my rice pot. This is my brown rice and it's cooking very, very nicely. So we'll be back with more of JuLa Can Cook New Orleans, where heart healthy has never tasted so good. Welcome back to JuLa Can Cook New Orleans. It is time to check on my heart healthy Creole red beans. Ah, yes. Oh, wow. Look at this, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to turn the heat off. Look at this, ladies and gentlemen. Look how creamy the beans are. Oh, perfect. This is exactly what I was looking for. Now these are the butterball turkey necks that I added just for flavor. And here's how you can determine if the necks, oh yes, are nice and tender. Look at that. The meat just, look at that. The meat just comes right off. This is how you know that it is ready to be, look at that. These are butterball turkey necks. Now it's time to check on the rice. Oh, perfection. Now this is how to tell if the rice is ready because it's nice and fluffy. Okay, I'm going to turn the burner off. This is long grain brown rice. And I'm going to get a nice serving. I've got my bowl right here. And the reason why I prefer whole grain brown rice is because it has all of the nutrients and minerals that our body needs. A lot of people do not like to eat brown rice because they think it's nasty and yucky and sticky. It just depends on how you cook it. If you add too much water to your pot, yes, it can be sticky. Also, what determines the way the rice is going to cook is the type of pot that you use when you are cooking your rice. There we go. Just look at this. Look at this, ladies and gentlemen. Heart Healthy has never, ever tasted so good. I'll be right back, and we're going to check on the hawks, the smoked hawks with the smoked necks that are cooking. Now, I have to lower the heat a little bit more because the hawks are still pretty hard, and this is gonna have to cook down a little bit longer than the butterball turkey necks that I added to my other pot of beef. Keep it right here, keep it locked in on JuLa Can Cook New Orleans, where Heart Healthy has never tasted so good. We're back. This is JuLa Can Cook New Orleans. It's time to check on my pot of red beans. Oh, wow. I have my red beans slow cooking. And I have friends visiting in town from Chicago, and they wanted some smoked hawks. Yes, nice and tender. Look, I can take the fork. We're not there yet, but we're getting there. Push it down. And I bought them they wanted some smoked necks. I've never eaten smoked necks in my life, but it looks delicious. It just looks like a ham bone to me, actually. A smoked ham bone. So I'm gonna push that bad boy back down in there. The red beans are cooking very, very nice and creamy, as you can see. And the key is to slow cook those beans with the hawk. Now it's time to check on my rice. I'm back. This is JuLa Ducray. This is my long grain brown rice. I choose to use brown rice in all of my dishes because, number one, brown rice is very heart healthy, and it contains all the nutrients and vitamins that our bodies need to function. So the rice is fine. And as I said earlier, the reason why a lot of people do not eat brown rice is because if you notice, do you see that? It's got the same consistency as white rice. Well, same consistency as white rice. The mistake that a lot of people make is because they add too much water. And what happens when you add too much water, the rice cooks, but it's like soggy and sticky and yucky. I'm going to come back in about 30 minutes, and these hawks with the necks should be ready. You're watching JuLa Can Cook. The word on the street is that Heart Healthy has never, ever tasted so good. Welcome back to JuLa Can Cook New Orleans. Okay, oh wow. Ladies and gentlemen, perfection. These are my Creole red beans. Now, I cook these for my friends who are in town from Chicago. I did not add any salt to the pot. They wanted some smoked hawks and some smoked necks, and I added those. And it's time to turn the burner off. And the rice is already cooked. This is brown rice. I'm going to try it first. I always like to try it first. Just a little bit, just to see. In fact, I'm going to put the rice on the side. I really want you guys to get a very nice piece of my red beans and rice. Get over there, boy. Get over there. Get over there. There we go. There we go. Very, very nice. Very, 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 very nice. And if you notice, my brown rice is not mushy. Very, very, very nice. Okay? Now, I'm going to taste my creamy red beans with smoked hops and smoked neck. I'm going to add it to my bowl. Oh wow, look at this, guys. Look at this. Now this is not totally heart healthy, ladies and gentlemen, but I did not add any additional salt because smoked hops and smoked necks already contain salt, and there's no need to add any salt. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. The word on the street is that JuLa can cook New Orleans. Oh, it's reaching over trying to grab my fork. And I'm gonna taste it. I'm gonna taste it, ladies and gentlemen. I do the tasting. Okay, let's see. Let's see. Wow. Wow. That is so good. Look at this. Oh my goodness, I've got to get another taste. You've been watching JuLa Can Cook New Orleans, an all-new cooking show coming in the next few weeks. The word on the street is that JuLa Can Cook New Orleans. You heard it from me first.